All right, man. Let's talk about Brad Holmes. He did a pre-draft press conference. Um, Let him know where the Lions kind of stand there. Let the fans in on something. So GMs, at least in Detroit, tend to talk in the off season. They never talk in the regular season. As most of us already know, usually they always trying to hide they hand, and then ultimately, ain't nothing, don't nothing special happen. Detroit Lions GMs been secretive since the beginning of time, and look where we at. They always like to hide stuff, and you're like, "What you hiding something for?" You know what I'm saying? We ain't won nothing in a long time. Maybe tell everybody what you gonna do. Maybe try the opposite. Maybe we can get some dubs out there. But check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Crease your chins, get notifications. We go live, or drop a video. And like I said before, he didn't take all off season either. You know, he didn't say nothing. I mean, all season. And now he talking and kind of giving us updates and whatever the situation may be. That's fine, bro. But we tired of all the secretive shit, man. Just let's get in there and let's do it. Let's just get in there and let's draft and do the right thing. And last year draft wasn't bad, but he didn't draft no game changers. It's hard for offensive linemen to to be a game changer. Just being just being real. It's hard for that. Hard for them to go out there and people don't even pay attention to offensive linemen like that to the naked eye. So you need somebody that's gonna be dynamic, score touchdowns, and be a game changer. And that's what he needs. And he said he's looking for game changers. And like I said before, man, we see what they end up with in this draft. Um, but it's interesting. A lot of good players in this draft. Might not be that number one potent guy like Peyton Manning, Cam Newton, but some good guys here, Miles Geared and nothing like that. But he says four takeaways from the Lions GM Brad Holmes pre 2022 NFL draft press conference. Brad Holmes may not have given away all the Detroit Lions draft strategies, but he did offer some interesting comments to consider. He said, "Don't be surprised if the Lions traded up." He said, Holmes said, "Trade down discussions have been quiet thus far," but he gave a far more interesting answer when talking about his overall philosophy in the draft. Holmes was asked how he balances being patient in the draft versus making bold decisions. The Lions general manager made it clear that if there's a guy he likes, they're going to go after him. He said, "Quote: If there's a player that we have buy-in and we want, I'm going to try to get that player." Holmes said with conviction, "Quote: That's just the bottom line. There's a value to being patient and sitting back. You just got to assess where the value is on your draft board and what the value in the depth is. If the conviction is that high, yeah, you can't just sit and wait and be patient. You see if that player is going to be there or not. Sometimes you got to be aggressive and go get him. So that tracks well with how Holmes approached last year's draft. He reportedly tried to trade up for Jamar Chase. He did trade up for linebacker Derek Barnes. He nearly traded up for Levi and Zorki, who ended up falling anyways. So it's worth pointing out that Holmes said the amount of players in each draft class that he'll have that much certainty about is relatively low. Now, there are not a lot of players throughout the draft always, but when their players is identified, always be aggressive. Holmes said the Lions could take an unconventional position at number two. A few weeks ago, back the head coach Dan Campbell said uh, that struck with me. That stuck with me. He talked about number two pick. That teams may not care as much about positional value as some draft analysts. They're more concerned about getting a player they are concerned about. He said, "Quote: We're looking at every scenario because there are some guys that are ultimately, some might say, well, it's worth a number two. No, we don't care." Campbell said, "Quote: All that matters is the dude is going to come in and play. He's going to help us, and he's going to be a productive player for a long time in this league for us. That's what matters to us." Holmes essentially echoed those statements Thursday. "Quote: Just because often it's been slated that we'll picking up there, it's going to be a quarterback, a pass rusher, tackle, all that type of stuff. But look, I said that from day one, give me a game changer at any position. There's multiple positions where we do see potential game changers could be there in the future. So is Kyle Hamilton a play? Could the Lions cornerback, Ahmad Gardner, Derek Stingley? I wouldn't take anything off the table. Once again, try to be the smartest motherfucker in the room. They've been doing that for a lifetime. I'm trying to tell y'all, that's what the Lions been doing. They always try to be the smartest guy in the room. You always try to outsmart each other, and you get up that high. You up there for a reason. Quarterback, blindside tackle, pass rusher. No matter where they coming from, the interior, the edge, from Mars, wherever they coming from, that's how you got to do it. And then there are exceptions in the rule. Calvin Johnson, Sean Taylor, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders. There are exceptions I keep talking about. But like I say before, I go back to the statement that he made right here. He said, now, hold on, it says it's worth pointing out. Well, let me read this. Now, there are not a lot of those players there's not a lot of them type of exceptional players throughout the draft process. Y'all remember when the Seahawks took Aaron Curry? Still ain't heard of him since. Michael Huff still ain't heard from him since. So the Lions always trying to be like the smartest person in the room. Sorry to say that. They always try to be the smartest person in the room. And that's an actual fact, man. Just, at this point, you use the structure. You taking the safety. We took tight ends inside the tight. We've always drafting out of position. Been doing that for the last 10 or 2, for a while now. Always drafting out of position. Out of place of position in the draft. Just move back then. Shit. Move back. Like I said before, everybody always try to come in Detroit and be the smartest dude in the room. I'm tired of that. I'm definitely tired of that, man. Just do what regular people do at some point. Just do what they do at some point. They take another DB in the top 2, man. Then yeah, I ain't even gonna. What I gotta say can't even go on YouTube. How about that? Detroit's prepared for a trade down, though the chatter is quiet down about moving out of the second overall pick. Holmes said it is always important not to just focus on the draft picks you currently have, but the picks you could potentially have. Quote, and not just narrowing it down to your top 2. You better have a top 5. You better have a top 10 in place because you just don't know what's going to happen each day, Holmes said. Continue quote. We do have it narrowed down, and we feel confident where we at with how we have parred it down. We just let the process unfold. He also indirectly talked about the possibility of trading down from 32 when talking about the value of a fifth-year option for a first-round player, especially quarterback. He said, is there a team that's sitting right at the top of the second or the middle of the second round that wants to trade up in front of us to pick a quarterback? Holmes said there's value in there. Brad Holmes is living out his dream. He says, I don't really care about this. I love it every single day. Every single day you get an opportunity to dive deeper into the process. Just love every second of it, every minute of it. Often it doesn't really feel like work. It's your passion. It's what you love to do. So there are some grueling long hours. There are some tough decisions. There are some. I don't want to just say sleepless nights, but there were some nights where I was waking up like, okay, what are we going to do here? But at the end of the day, I'm very, very fortunate to be in this position I'm in. I'm very fortunate for the staff that I have surrounded me that was helped us get through this process. But I just love it. I just love doing it. Wouldn't want to do anything else. And when you first start a job, you ain't did it before. It's gonna be like that. But when you have passion for something like that, it's gonna be like that. So I mean, at the end of the day, bro, nothing much. They done, what people ain't talked about. They done the best. They done the best. Um, they done the best job of hiding their hand. They've done the best job of hiding their hand, bro. Exceptional. Exceptional. They done a great job at hiding their hand. Said anything can happen in any day. I would say that Holmes said there hasn't been much trade chatter. Says dialogue mainly happened before the league meeting. To a point. So he says clusters of players that have elite buckets are in same grade review, not tipping his hand. So he ain't saying nothing here. So it's pretty much we read. So Holmes said he's not passing on players based on how strong a draft class it is when compared to the next season. Our scouts do a great job. They already know next year's draft class as well. That's great. You don't know what's going to happen the next week, the next month, next year. He said, what Dan and I are trying to build here. You want to have future capital. We have that already in 2023. And we're in a position where we can have future capital. That kind of makes things better. I mean, so he said Holmes credit teams worked with undrafted free agent last season, pointing out Jerry Jacobs, AJ Parker in that department. He credits Jacobs for his man coverage chops and then Parker for his awareness, knowing where to be when thrown to action. Credit to area scouts for bringing those names to him. Then work done to get them brought in and ready. When asked how those two players changed his thoughts ahead into next week's draft, he says, "You absolutely think about those guys in the future when you're looking into this class. Holmes and Debo Samuels, we do have discussions. We leave them in house." He said, "Trade up if we have a player." So he's basically saying everything. So I already said so. Like I said before, man. Pulling for a guy like that to get a job. We hungry for a winner, man. We've been patient, and hopefully get the job done. It's the number one way to get the job done is trading. I mean, it's drafting. You know, you know. So number one way to is mostly the cost efficient way to draft is to draft, especially with them capping the salary now. So like I said before, I still got my faith in them. Last year's draft was pretty good. I was real high on Levi and Zorky. I guess the back and playing in the 3-4, playing with a 3 down 3-4 alignment kind of hurt him. He had 3 technique. So you put him in that dominant suit position, that Warren side position, and his strength and his twitchiness and inside. Then also I had concerns if you go back to last draft about Panisa Wills and Levi and Zorky not playing the whole year. So Panisa Will preserved his body well. He a different animal though. Even though he has some knick-knack injuries, and Zorky, like I said before, he learned a whole new position playing, the 5 technique, I believe, from college. We played the 3 technique and then a year off. So hopefully everything good with him. He healthy and all that good stuff, man. So we'll see, man. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe buttons, the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. Um, when we go live, we drop a video. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that links in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know in the comment section.